Let's do
Of
it
course,
again.
my son wrote that theme song, so it's really fun for everybody to play. Greg, I'm gonna hand it over to you for the first time ever in the beginning, because I'm on my phone, so that you can introduce every single gorgeous human on this Zoom with us right now.
Awesome. It's my pleasure. Thank you for watching, everybody, and tuning in to our Super Goddess cosplay episode. Let's go around the room and introduce everybody. I would love for you to introduce yourselves. Let's start with anybody who wants to go first.
That's not how it works.
We could play. How do we choose who goes first? Let's go with the purple background.
Can you read their names?
Sammy.
Okay, and that's me. So I just have to introduce myself. Okay. Well, I'm Sammy, also known as Sammy's Cosplay. I'm a cosplayer from the Netherlands, and I'm cosplaying for 5 years now. And yeah, that's actually what I do. I love to create, I love to make, I love to watch anime and be a total fangirl.
Well, you're gorgeous. Thank you
Nice.
for joining us. What time of day is it where you are in the world?
It's now like 8 p.m. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Thanks
Thank you for coming for us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Cool. The Netherlands cosplay super goddess in the house. Let's go to Minty next.
Hi, I'm Minty, Minty Prince on Instagram. I have been cosplaying for like 10 years now. I just never grew out of dressing up. Makeup and creating is my passion. And I, as a trans cosplayer, it's really important to me to like help break down gender roles and like cosplay the whole spectrum and encourage other people to do so. So I don't know, that's my whole thing.
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. You know, that's one of the reasons we did this show, is that like cosplay is such a huge part of this world that never gets any mainstream media love. And what Greg and I say all the time, one of the reasons we love cons is that cosplay knows no boundaries. It knows no gender, knows no skin color, no age. You know, babies can cosplay, old ladies can cosplay. It knows no body type. And it's so important to have some of our friends from the trans community represented on this show. So thank you, Minty, and you're gorgeous.
Breaking up, Tara.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, am I breaking up?
Yeah, cosplay's true. Yeah, it's very loud, windy too now.
Okay.
Also, just to be able to freely express yourself, cosplay provides that, and that's like the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again for being here and expressing yourselves so beautifully. Let's continue around the room here. Kirby, what's happening?
Hi, I'm Kirby. I'm a cosplayer from the cornfields of Ohio. Been cosplaying, gosh, pretty much all my life since, you know, the age 6, being magical Mr. Mistopheles from the Cats musical up until now. But yeah, I only got into it more seriously, I would say, over quarantine. So just having fun expressing myself on the internet.
We were just talking before we started rolling, is like quarantine's been such a great time to really hone in on your craft.
Absolutely. Nothing better to do.
I think like the online world of cosplay has grown exponentially, you know, during this time.
Oh, definitely.
Well, you look gorgeous. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And
Follow.
Yeah. Hi, tell us about yourself.
My name is Fola Cosplays. I'm from the UK. I've been cosplaying for about 2.5 years now. For me, I love being able to express myself through cosplay, whether it's through my natural hair, curly hair, whatever type of hair. I like to express myself through that. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
I love your voice.
Oh,
no.
Thank you.
Years you've been following.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. It broke up.
I said you've amassed quite a following for only 2 years. It's amazing.
Yeah, I would say I have. Yeah, it has been really a bit of an experience since I've started. Yeah, it really has. Yeah. Thank you.
Who are your favorite characters to cosplay? That's what I would like to know.
I would say Momo from MHA, My Hero Academia, And I would say, I just did one recently, actually. That's my favorite ones as well. I would say Pain from Naruto. Yeah,
That's a good one.
Those are my two favorite ones so far right now.
And why?
I think with Pain, well, with Momo, I just like the fact that I can use my natural hair and people still know who I am, even though it's not exactly like hers, but I get to have this, like my hair like this. With Pain, it's just the makeup. I love the way the piercings are on his nose. I think the way I did mine, I had done piercings on the nose, the here I done piercing, or he has the piercings there. So I kind of made it my own type of way through my makeup, which was why I actually really liked the Pain one. And the way it turned out, unfortunately, because I'm not really a person that wears eye contacts much. So wearing the eye contacts for me, for Pain, the full eye contacts is a bit scary for me. But when everything was all edited together, I loved the way it all turned out for me. But yeah, that's why that one's my favorite.
That's cool. What about you other ladies? What's your favorite character to cosplay? Let's start with Minty.
Hello. I would say my two favorite characters to cosplay are Venti from Genshin Impact, because he's small and effeminate, but so for me being 5'2" and being a man at 5'2", I like characters that are compact. And then the other side of the spectrum, Princess Peach is my other favorite cosplay to do. Because when I first started learning how to do cosplay makeup, it actually started as learning how to do drag makeup with my brother when he started getting into drag. So a lot of my makeup roots come from drag makeup. So with a character like Princess Peach with the tiny little eyebrows and the big eyes and the lips and the huge hair, I get to kind of like dip into my drag roots with that one. So a little bit of both sides of the spectrum.
How fun. How fun. Let's continue on with Kirby.
I would have to say this one just purely because of like the pride behind it. When you guys invited me onto the show, I got kind of a burr under my saddle and was like, I'm not satisfied with any of the cosplays that I have currently. I have to make something new. So I was able to make this in about like 20 hours of work.
What?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I literally finished. I finished last night at like 4 a.m. was sewing fur onto this at like 4 a.m. before I went to sleep. But just being able to put it together and like build something. And my following has been asking me to cosplay Morgan for a long time, and I haven't. I've been avoiding it because of the build behind it. It's either you put the time in and you build it, or you spend $500-$600 on having someone else do it. So it was just kind of like the right push to get me to finally do it, and I'm so glad that I did.
Wow, how did you do that? What was like the process like?
So for the wings, both sets, Etsy is such a great resource for patterns. So many cosplayers have patterns up for their own builds if you don't feel like commissioning. So it was a process of printing out the wing patterns. These wings are it's a double layer fabric for like the webbing that's painted and detailed.
Whoa.
And then here, I'll stand up so you guys can see. But yeah, so they're black on the back, there's the purple on the front. And then the skeletal structure is EVA foam. So yesterday it was cutting out EVA foam using a belt sander to kind of get the beveled edge, and then a Dremel to kind of fine tune everything because everything's square at first. Then just lots of hot glue and paint and a hope and a prayer.
Wow.
But it was a really satisfying process, and I'm glad that I had the push to finally do it.
I love the dedication, and it definitely has paid off. You look awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Gorgeous.
Thank
That's
you.
one of my favorite things about cosplayers is the dedication involved, and then the great gift of actually seeing how people react and how it makes you feel after you get all dressed up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the reaction is the best.
The transformation.
Well, and the fact that you built it, like there must be so much satisfaction in knowing like, you could have bought it on Etsy. Like anything I've cosplayed, I've bought. But like being able to build and make your own stuff is a whole other world of talent. And congratulations, you did it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's like a little child. You're like, I made this. I did this myself. So
amazing.
I gotta shut my beach door real quick. Hold on.
Is this better for noise if I'm in my car, y'all?
It should be a little bit better.
Probably, honestly.
Okay, who did we not get to yet on this
Me.
question? Okay, Sammy.
Yeah, for me, my favorite character to cosplay is probably Sanji from One Piece because he's my favorite character. But then like just the male version because now I'm Zoro also from One Piece, but the female version I made it. But just an original male version of Sanji is probably my favorite character to cosplay because it makes me really happy and it's really a challenge to turn myself into a man because I learned that through the whole quarantine stuff and um I thought I wasn't able to cosplay him like how I see him and then I just tried it and keep pushing myself to do it and then I finally wore him and I saw myself and I literally started crying like, oh my god, I made it, I did it, I did it, I cosplay my favorite character like how I see him. So probably him.
Wow. I want to hear all of your guys' origin stories, like how you started
Oh
cosplaying in the
man.
beginning. And I want to hear back to the beginning for cosplay, how it all started for you guys.
I'm
Gotta
just
think
gonna
about it in a
enjoy. I'm gonna
second.
enjoy
Oh.
listening.
Oh.
But I'm gonna
Let's
enjoy listening.
let's start with Kirby.
Okay, so actual like cosplay for me. My first anime convention was in 2009, Colossal Con in Sandusky, Ohio, and I was into a lot of Japanese music and fashion, so I kind of just did like J fashion. But being there in person and seeing all of the cosplay was just like such not culture shock, but just it just was so amazing to see it all in person and going to like the masquerades and seeing all the competitions and stuff and just what people are capable of. So my next convention got invited to go with a friend like a couple days beforehand and had to kind of slap stuff together. So my very first cosplay at a convention was Rarity.
No way!
Yeah. So my first cosplay that I made myself was Rarity. It was like super slapped together, you know, the purple wig horn, dressed with her cutie mark, and was hooked. And so my next cosplay, coincidentally enough, the first one I ever commissioned was I have a custom PVC latex animated series Harley Quinn suit.
Yes.
So I
am so represented in Kirby right now.
Yeah, I know. It was but so that was kind of like the first, you know, dip in the toe into like the big kid cosplay pool. Spent, you know, over a week like building this huge mallet and stuff, and just the rush of like all the photographers and people recognizing your work and bonding through that shared love of cosplay, love of, you know, the nerd community and stuff, which is such a wholesome community in general when it comes to like conventions and stuff. And it's just a great bonding experience and a rush, you know. I love attention, so
Aw. But it's good
community,
attention. Like when
yeah,
little kids are
absolutely. Well, that was another thing. Yeah, at the convention, having little kids come up and being like, oh my gosh, Rarity, and just like getting to take pictures. It's, you know, it's like going to Disney World and getting your, you know, your picture taken with your favorite Disney princess and stuff. And so to be able to kind of bring people's favorite characters to life is cool, which is why like now I'm doing more like fan-led cosplay, because there's plenty of characters that I would love to do, but it's more I'm letting my community lead me a little bit. Be like, what would you like to see? What can I bring to life for you? So
what a beautiful way to build community by
absolutely
by attracting others that like the same things that you like, which is
yeah.
amazing. And that's what I love about the Comic-Con tour that we get to go on, is all these different communities around the world are actually all very similar, and we all kind of intersect on the same level of wanting to just be together, expressing ourselves, loving the same things.
Absolutely. So, and especially right now when community is more important than anything, when we've been so separated.
Beautiful, gorgeous. Okay, Fola.
Hello. I would say compared to everyone else, my journey did start in 2019. A lot of my friends on Twitter would cosplay, which did actually help inspire me. What actually really did push it was when I went to Comic-Con in 2019. Obviously, we didn't have one last year because of quarantine and the pandemic. But I didn't cosplay when I went. But I had seen everyone and them in their amazing costumes, and I just thought like it was something that I thought was really amazing and does really give you a confidence boost. Because especially because I'm an introvert, so doing something like so elaborate and out there is not really me, to be honest. But being in cosplay does actually bring me about a lot more. So that did actually really push me. So I did my first cosplay in 2019 January. So I usually do what works best for me and around my own funding. So if I can find a cosplay that's in my size, because I'm a plus size cosplayer, then I would get it. But usually I do closet cosplays. And when I did become a bit more serious, that's when lockdown happened, which obviously did help my confidence and helped my skills. I would say from last year to this year, I would say I've improved a lot more when it comes to my hair, makeup, I would just say I've improved a lot more, which does make me a lot happy on my journey and to see where I will go later on. I would say because I think the only time I actually ever cosplayed outside was when during summer, me and my friends had a Naruto themed picnic. So we all dressed up as a Akatsuki member. We all had a member. So I was Conan, I was Conan. So I had big curly lilac-y hair, and it was really nice because a lot of people kept coming up to us, telling us we looked cool. A lot of anime fans came up to us. We had parents come up to us with their kids to ask for photos. So obviously for us and for me, especially because that was my first time going out like that, it was really a surreal feeling. But yeah, I really, really enjoy cosplay. It really does make me feel a lot more confident and out there. Like I said, because I'm to myself person. So yeah, that's just my journey so far.
I love that. We hear that a lot on the show, that in like their regular lives they're kind of shy, but when they suit up they're like, okay, now I'm myself in beast mode and just having so much fun. And and it's nice to be able to like inspire, you know, younger cosplayers in that way. Like if you're like, okay, in your regular life you're kind of shy, but when you suit up you could be anyone you want.
Embodying the character.
When you're in that costume, you're not yourself anymore. You know, you're that character. So you don't have to, it doesn't matter if you're shy because, you know, you're someone new. And if you do anything to embarrass yourself, people aren't going to recognize you later, right?
Right. Yeah. It's just the character.
It is for sure like a form of acting and performance. What's your origin story?
So my first cosplay, I think like 15 years old, and I bought a $20 used eBay cosplay that I wore to my first convention. It was Songstress Yuna from Final Fantasy X-2.
Woo!
And
everyone's representing me.
And I had the wrong shoes, no wig, no makeup, and I went to my first con, and I was so overwhelmed by like everybody in costume. I wasn't expecting it, I guess, because it was like 2010 and like cons weren't as huge as they are now. And I was so like inspired by everybody that had made their cosplays that I went home and I immediately started like rummaging through the garbage to try to put together what I could as like a poor 15-year-old kid, you know? So my first cosplay I ever made was made out of like Chili's to-go cups, styrofoam, and like random curtains that my parents wouldn't notice were missing. And
do you have a picture of that?
I do actually.
Okay, you need to share that with the group.
I love that.
It was Aqua from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and that was the first cosplay I made, and her like armor was made from Chili's to-go cups, and like it was just thrown together hot glued trash, but I was so proud of it, and people recognized.
I love this story so much. Story. Chili's, if
and
you're
I'm still
listening,
trash to this day.
Amazing. It'd be fun if you made your own like Chili's cosplay, like your own Chili's superhero.
Yeah, don't cover it, just leave it the cup.
Yeah, people do like McDonald's armor. I've seen like McDonald's samurai armor.
And what about now? Do you build your own stuff now? I mean, you're wearing now is gorgeous.
Thank you. This is probably the hardest I ever worked on a cosplay ever. I'm not wearing them right now, but with this cosplay, I also have the first pair of like wings I ever made. So it's a big, huge, collapsible, breakdownable pair of like angel wings. Because I wanted to solve the problem of not being able to bring wings to cons because they don't fit into suitcases and they're too heavy. But it was kind of like dipping back on my little problem solving when I was a kid, because I didn't know what I was doing. I don't have a lot of experience with like armor and props and stuff like that. So I had to kind of like get creative and a little chaotic. But now I'm still doing the same thing I was doing, kind of, instead of like looking up tutorials and like finding out the correct way to do things, just kind of doing my own chaotic mishmash of stuff until it works. But a little bit better now.
But you're sewing that stuff, right?
Yeah. So I sewed all this. My friend that I live with here is a professional seamstress. She works on movies and stuff like that. So she's been teaching me over the like past few years how to like properly sew things. Whereas like a few years ago, I would have just like glued these on or ironed them on. All of the diamonds in this are like sewn in, reverse applique. So it's just like big, huge leaps and bounds from where I used to be. You're never too old to keep learning. I'm like almost 30 and I'm still getting much better at cosplay.
Amazing.
Speaking of leaps and bounds, what do you think the future of cosplay is? Because I have an idea. I'm witnessing it in real life, but I'd love to hear your visions of what the future of cosplay is. For like.
Oh, by the way, shouldn't I tell my origin?
Yeah. After your origin
Okay,
story.
okay, thank you. Actually, I started cosplaying in like 2016, but I was already reading comics. And in the Netherlands, Comic Cons weren't that big, but they're starting to get bigger, and they're getting more Comic Cons. And well, I actually was reading a lot of comics, and especially Batman, and I was in love with the Joker, so I wanted to be Harley Quinn. And first I did the Suicide Squad version because that came out that year, but I went to that con and I saw I saw so many people who made their stuff themselves, and I was like, I want to do that as well because I'm creative, so I want to do it as well. So my first made cosplay was actually the Harley Quinn from the animated series. So that was that was my first cosplay, and I met like my two best friends at that con, and they were also dressed up as Harley Quinn from the animated series. So we were going absolutely nuts, and we're still like big Harley fans. So Tara, you're such a big inspiration to us. Also, when I told them this, they were like, "Oh my God, we're friends because of her Harley," and
I love that. You know what, Greg? This was actually Greg's question last one time, whatever. I love it so much. I want to hear what all of you thought when you first saw my message.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Can I go? Because I was in my living room, and my roommates were playing Jack 2, like the Jack and Daxter game. And you do Kira in that, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah, so we're playing those games, and I get the message from you, and I was like, can someone read this for me? And I feel like I'm going crazy. Is this fake? Like, there's a blue check mark, but I think this is fake. And they're like, no, it's Tara Strong. I'm like, Tara, like on the screen right now, like talking in this cutscene right now on our screen right now, that Tara Strong messaged me. Like, it was just, literally during a cutscene where Kira was on screen. It was very,
I love
very
that.
surreal. I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm going to talk to the two voices of my childhood. What is happening right now?
Right.
That's super psychedelic.
Cute.
What a super psychedelic, multi-dimensional experience.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Anyone else?
Kind of a similar thing. You saw that you followed, and I was like, oh my God, that's crazy and weird. And I don't really venture into my DMs all that often. But opening it up, just absolute, just like color drain for me in like the best way, and was just like, is this real? Oh my God. And called my mom and was like, you're never gonna guess, like, because both of you have had a hand in so many parts of my upbringing and in so many things that I've enjoyed. You know, I have a whole Harley Quinn collection, I have a whole MLP collection, and just to, you know, and then it was like, oh my God, you know, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like nothing I have is worthy. I have to, you know, I have to make something. Oh my God, like, but just bliss, just so happy.
Aww.
Yeah, for me, I was walking in Paris actually. I was really impulsively drove to Paris. It's 5 hours from here, and with my best friend, because we went to an anime concert with like an orchestra. So I was totally emotional afterwards, like, oh my God, it was so beautiful. And I was walking outside and I met someone there and she took a picture with me, and I was checking my DMs to see if she sent it, and I suddenly saw the blue verified thing, and I was like, huh? And my makeup was already really like all over my face, and I showed it to my best friend, like, you see this, right? And she was like, huh? What? And I was like, this is wrong, right? And she was like, yes, because she's like my best friend. We met through Harley, and then she was walking next to me, and she was like, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. And I immediately called my boyfriend, like, oh my God, this. And he didn't understand what I was saying, and he was like, who messaged you? Talks? No, what are you saying? And then he realized, like, oh my God, Tara's strong. Oh my God. And yeah, we were going crazy. And I was so oblivious because I was walking at night in Paris, like in total, just there was so much happening. It felt like a fever dream. Like, what's happening here?
Oh, I love that so much. I love it so much. How about you, Fala?
Yeah, to be honest, I was really shocked because I was just thinking, like, I was like, this can't actually be real. Because I was like, I remember, like, I saw my phone, and I literally screamed for my daughter to come and see, and I was like, guess who followed me? And I was like, your favorite, My Little Pony, because she loves My Little Pony. So it was My Little Pony. So I was just like, your favorite from My Little Pony just followed Tara Strong, just followed me. And obviously they know who you are. They know who you are. And it was actually really crazy because they were the first people I told, and they were actually so happy for me. My daughter literally just told me not long before we started that she told her friends at school. She told her friends at school. So I was just like, like they're more excited for me. Like, yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Honestly, they couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It's really, I'm actually really honored. Honestly, I really, really am. Like,
yeah, ditto.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, we're honored to have you guys. I mean, I love that you guys all suited up and committed and sharing your lives. Like, it really is so important to have this love fest to teach kids, especially kids who are feeling shy, insecure, who are bullied, that want to partake in fandom and feel like, oh, you're going to be called a nerd. Like, in my view, and tell me if I'm wrong, like, there are way more nerdy, geeky people in the world than not, and we are finally in this place where
absolutely,
like we're triumphant and feeling like we're cool for doing this. Like, it's fun to do this. Like, when I dressed as Harley at Comic-Con, and there was a whole panel of Harley cosplayers, and to feel like you're part of that community is so beautiful. And it's really important to encourage the young people. Greg, do you want to ask your stupid question?
Yeah, ship, marry, kill.
Oh no.
Okay, so since we've done this as like a goddess day, you can choose as yourself any ship, marry, kill in any world. Who you'd ship, who you'd marry, who you'd kill, you personally, in any pop culture world.
Gosh.
Who we ship ourselves with? Like,
yeah, ship yourself, who you'd ship yourself with, who you'd want to kill, and who you'd want to marry.
Within the same universe?
No, any universe.
Oh gosh, okay. It's only a couple people to choose from, huh?
Yeah, only a couple.
That's a big question.
Just a few.
Question.
Whoever feels ready can go first.
Okay.
Oh, I have too many to marry.
Yeah, what's the quantifier between marrying and shipping? Like,
well, maybe like ship is like you'd make out a few times, you know, but you don't want to but you don't want to put a ring on it.
Oh, This is so hard because I have like 21 fictional
Wasn't prepared.
crushes.
I've been watching a
Yeah.
lot of romance anime.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm just gonna pick
okay. I think I have it.
Kirby's up. Kirby's up.
Okay. Ship. I would pick Alucard from Helsing. I don't think that he is necessarily marriage material, but I love the man dearly. I have the Helsing insignia tattooed on my stomach. So love, 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 but he's a little bit of a nut. Mary, I would say it's a little bit more obscure, but Odana from Bed and Breakfast for Yokai. Wonderful romance anime, very good. He's so sweet and just encouraging of his partner in, you know, her endeavors and to see her grow into what she loves. And kill Danzo from Naruto.
Yes.
Because I hate him so much. Almost every problem in that show, for the most part, can be traced back to this. Ooh, yeah. Don't like. All my homies hate him.
Yeah.
Who's next? Who's next?
Stuck on the kill, man.
I think I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead, Sammy.
I would ship myself with. Oh my god, this is so hard. I have to pick one. I would ship myself with probably like Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen because he's a total ass, but oh my god, that man is fine. So and I'm like, okay, it's only ship, so I wouldn't dedicate my life. And marry probably Ichigo from Bleach because he will protect me and take care of me and also still be quite harsh sometimes to me, but that's what I need because otherwise I won't listen. So probably that. And kill. This was actually the first one that came to mind. It was really easy. It's probably Flock from Attack on Titan. God, I hate him so much. I just can't stand people who just follow someone without thinking for themselves. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Who's next?
Oh, okay, I'll go. I would ship Guard Jill from Fairy Tale. I don't know, I just like that he's a bit of a bad guy. Well, he's not bad, but he's got that bad guy energy, and I love his piercings, love his hair, everything about him. Marry, I would say Bon from Seven Deadly Sins.
Same.
He's my all-time favorite. I don't know why I love him. I love everything about him. He's very protective, loving, everything.
I feel you.
Yeah, chef's kiss.
He's just so beautiful. Kill, I would say the same as Kirby. I think I'll also add what's her name? I can't remember her name, but she was in Shield Hero. Oh, I can't remember her name, but I would say the same as Kirby. That's definitely yeah, that's mine.
All right, I finally got it. I solved the riddle. I know what I would do. I ship myself with Rufus Shinra from Final Fantasy VII, and then I would marry Rufus Shinra from Final Fantasy VII, and then I would kill Rufus Shinra from Final Fantasy VII. He's a terrible man, and I would get that Shinra money. So that's my plan.
Wow.
Wealthy widower.
That sounds like real life. That could be legit.
So,
I think it's really important to, if you guys don't mind, giving some advice to the younger generation, kind of what you'd say to your younger self, because there's a lot of youngsters looking up at you guys and saying, wow, I really want to do that, but I don't want people to make fun of me, or I don't know how to get started. Like, what kind of advice would you give to the younger versions of yourselves out there?
For me, it's probably to immediately say, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because I was really afraid of like failing, especially when I was in school. But I have always been creative and I started thinking about it. Like I made so many mistakes when I started drawing, when I started sewing, everything, and I still kept going. So that's probably like my biggest advice. Like just keep doing what you do and don't be afraid to make mistakes, and also don't be like ashamed of yourself. Also, I like last year I got like diagnosed with ADHD, and that explains so much why I do things like why I do it and how I do it, and it helped me a lot. So just always try to do new things, take risk, especially take risks. Otherwise you can't create like a future and new stuff, and you will like you want to improve. Well, I want to improve always, so that's my advice. Just keep improving, just keep taking challenges, and just risk.
Great advice.
Yeah, definitely. I would say just start. You know, I was in this place of just being stuck and not starting because of just comparing myself to others, you know, thinking like, oh, well, there's people like Yaya Han and there's people like Jessica Negri doing these incredible things, and I can't do that yet. So, you know, so why start? You know, what I'm doing isn't as good as what these people are doing. Everyone has to start somewhere. You know, everyone's got to start somewhere, whether it's, you know, secondhand cosplay, closet cosplay, stuff that you're building yourself. Everyone has to start somewhere. That was the biggest hurdle I had to get over myself.
I would say that don't limit yourself. If I was talking to my old self, because of your height, because of your gender, because you don't think you're as pretty as someone else who's done this character, or as buff as someone who's done this character. Cosplay and your relationship with cosplay is personal. It's about that fulfillment and that enjoyment. And it doesn't matter how someone else looked or how someone else thinks a character should be. It should be about you and the character that you love and the thing that you love. And so, like, just don't hold yourself back because of these limitations that you're putting on yourself or that you think the world is putting on you. No one's putting that on you. Only you are putting that on you.
You create your own reality.
Yeah, cosplay's fan art. It's all valid.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say just go at your own pace. Don't compare yourself to others, because when you compare yourself to others, it can really cause you to overthink things and nitpick at little things, saying you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right. I had a really big issue where I used to overthink practically everything. And I do think cosplaying and getting in my own element has really helped that. I would also say that just because you've grown up in an environment where people don't get what you're into doesn't mean you should be someone that you're not. You should always be yourself and true to who you are. And yeah, that's about it.
You know what I love about all this advice is it really feels like you all live by what you're sharing. Like all this advice about not being afraid, you know, just starting. You have to start. People ask me all the time, how do I get into making cartoons and doing voice acting and et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, you just have to start.
You just have to do it.
Yeah.
Do it. No matter what it is.
Yeah, can't do it unless you're doing it.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll get better and better and better at it. I mean, when I first started teaching Tara how to voice act, it was like, she's so good now.
Thank God Beastie taught me everything I know. Hey Luke, do we have time for flip the ship, Luke?
We just have to be fairly quick, because I gotta get ready for the next recording. All right.
Well, if anyone has a question they've been dying to ask any of us, we'll give you a quick opportunity to do flip the ship, and then when you finish your question, please tell everybody where they can find you on social media. Does anybody have a question for either Greg or I?
What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you while recording?
Greg has so many, it would be hard for him to pick one, right? I think like for me, there's been a couple times where like I've, like, you know how sometimes please tell me this happens to you guys. You're looking at a word and you read it completely wrong for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
No reason. I'm like, oh, I'm really glad I read words for a living because I was in a studio once where a little girl went to the bathroom in the booth because she didn't know that she could leave, but that wasn't myself. I just witnessed it.
Oh, poor baby.
Like pretty much every day is an embarrassment for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like being. I'm very humble. I'm okay with being embarrassed. And one time, actually, it wasn't in a recording session, but Jason Biggs pulled down my pants at the animation awards on stage.
But you're always naked. You've pulled down your own pants in sessions.
Oh my God.
All right, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, pretty please. And thank you guys so much for gracing us with your presence today. You're all gorgeous goddesses, and you putting in the time to show up for us is so, so beautiful. So thank you for that.
We appreciate you guys having us.
Thank you.
Honestly, yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, who wants to go first?
Oh.
Go ahead,
I'll go
Kirby.
first. All right, I am at Knife Kirby on Instagram or on Twitter, sorry, and at KIRBBYY_ on Instagram.
Fala.
Oh, I'm Fola Cosplays on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So that's FOLACOSPLAYS. Yeah.
Yay. Sammy.
I'm Sammy's Cosplay on Instagram and Sammy's Cosplays on TikTok, and you can find me there for all like making cosplays. I especially share like crafting and making and the end results.
Beautiful. Minty.
All right, I am Minty Prince. That's like the drink mint tea on Instagram and TikTok. And I don't know, who knows where you'll find me. Just start Googling the name.
I hope soon after COVID, we all get to give you guys big hugs in person. It would be so nice to meet you all.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Fun
So much.
meetup.
Yeah.
I just have to fly there though.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
us.
me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Later, mamas.
And by the way, I want to say quickly, Minty, I'm so fan of your work. And
Me?
I saw you and I was like, oh my God, I know you.
Thank you.
Always
Goddesses.
been.
All goddesses, all gorgeous. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next time I'll
Bye.
bring enough acai bowl for all of you.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
share with the class.
That'd be lovely.
Jeez.
Welcome to the Ship It Show.